Hey guys, what's up, it's iFlynn here. I already recorded this video, but my desktop and microphone audio wasn't being picked up, so now I'm remaking it, and I came back in the ship coming out of Captura after I noticed that my audio wasn't being recorded, and now this guy's sitting here, and he was like, hey kiddo, and I'm like, oh, okay, what's up, my dude? This guy spawns on me at like the most random times. He spawns whenever I'm about to start a stream. He spawns whenever I'm recording a video. He spawns whenever I mess up a video. So this guy is just kind of like the guy who's always there to take the piss out of me. But this is the Mesa Deluxe skin. I think it looks dope. It's probably one of my favorite deluxe skins of all time, even though it's only been out for like a day. But that's because you can do so much with this skin, and I think mine's looks pretty dope. I've tried like a lighter red on it. I'm running the darker red right now because it kind of has that royal-esque look to it. So I don't know, I just think the skin looks absolutely dope. Not to mention you also get Akbolto or dual wield pistol skins along with it. So this is the bundle right here. It costs 225 platinum. You get the Mesa Presidio skin and the Perla dual pistol skin and the Costella Cyandana, all of which you're going to see in today's video, and you can also see on screen right now. But we're going to take it and we're going to mess around with it and do all the cool stuff. But it's just a super dope looking skin, and I don't know if I would recommend this skin over Tenogen. That's a debate that you're going to have with yourself, because it kind of depends on the style of Warframe that you look. What I'll say about this skin is it's very, I guess the best way to describe it for me is it's very skinny. I usually like to have my frames very bulked up and look as if they have armor on them type of guy. So it's down to what you prefer. Do you prefer the more skinny minimalistic look, or do you prefer the bulked up Warframe, have as much armor on there as possible? Or do you just want to look badass and cool? Because if you just want to look badass and cool, then this skin definitely does that, and it's a nice alternative to actually having to spend like a $5 on a Tenogen skin if that's your case. And that's how I, at least in my opinion, most deluxe skins should work. Like, they should be the perfect balance between like bulky looking cool and kind of skinny. So it works for all players, I guess you could say. So just something that a player can take and really mess around with super well. So the two versions of the skin that I went ahead and put together. So this is my B and this is my C. So this is just the lighter red. They basically have the same color schemes. So I've went with a color of your choice, and then a white, a black, a white, and then another red, or color of your choice, I guess. And basically what I've done is I've stayed true to the original concept of the skin. So if we go into the config C and I reset this to default colors, you'll notice that the black and the white on the skin doesn't change all that much, and really all I change is the accents of the frame and just like the blue color as well. So the accents is this little brown bit here, or the goldish looking bits. So that's going to be changed to silver, at least on my skin. And then the blue is changed to whatever color you really want to use, right? So maybe you want to go with a dark tone of blue, which is on the skin already. And then you want to change the gold to, the silverish gold that I have. That's totally fine. That's totally cool. And it will look dope as long as you just go ahead and pay attention to the whites and the blacks and stuff that you're using to make it look dope. So what I went ahead and did is I brightened up the white color here by applying the one from my classic palette, and then I did the exact same with the black color, and I made it a little bit darker by applying again the one from the classic palette. You can use the one from the shadow palette or whatever, and it will still look pretty dope, right? So just to kind of compare what I'm used to running on Mesa, so this is what I usually run. This is kind of the bulky look that I like to go for. And then you compare it to this deluxe skin, it looks a lot different because it's a lot skinnier. It's a lot more just narrow, I guess you could say. Like, she's not as bulky whenever you look at her, like her legs or arms or whatever. And she doesn't have that sort of armor, sort of, I guess, guard, like bodyguard type look, I guess you could say. She doesn't really have that with this skin, and it's more of like a royal sort of knight slash, I don't know how you would sort of describe it look, but it looks dope, and I think it looks pretty cool, and you can mess around, you can do pretty much anything with it that you want. So like, let's say you're a fan of the color green. Let's go ahead and throw on the color green in the classic saturated palette, and let's go ahead, go to my attachments, go to my Cyandana. It'll still look pretty dope, right? So really what it comes down to at that point, you have your sort of basic layout for what your Mesa is going to be colored like. It comes down to what attachments you're going to want to throw on, and that's my biggest criticism with the skin, is the attachments are kind of weird, right? So I'm going to go ahead and revert back to my royal looking red, or my dark looking red, like so, which, if you guys are wondering, that comes from, I don't even know what palette, because it's been that long since I went ahead and got it, but it's probably from, like, not from Classic Saturated, not from Classic, not from Corpus, it's from Dojo. So the Dojo palette right here, this is the red that I'm using. I think it looks dope, so I went ahead and favored it so I can just have quick access to it and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and revert the Cyan back, and there we go. So the attachments, like I said, this is my biggest gripe with the skin, because some of the attachments don't really seem as if they sort of blend well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip a bow and arrow, and I'm going to go ahead and color that too, just so you guys can see the chest plate, and we keep our theme consistent. So we go to attachments, we go to chest plates. Now, like, let's say, for example, one of my favorite chest plates to run is the Pakal chest plate, right? It looks dope here in the arsenal, but then whenever you exit the arsenal and you just kind of roam around your ship a little bit, in my opinion, it doesn't look the same way it does in the arsenal. Maybe it's just me being an idiot, probably is, but it just doesn't look as bright whenever you leave the arsenal compared to when you're standing in the arsenal. That's not a big turnoff for me. Like, I still love how the Pakal looks, but I just prefer more of like that minimalistic look on the skin, because that's just kind of how the skin works for me. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at all of our other options here. So very bulky things like the Acanthus. It's not super bulky, but it stands out a little bit too much for me. Arca, Atavis, stuff like that. Those are kind of no-goes for me, and I like to go for something small. So the Avia chestplate, for example, here. The Dedulus, if you're a fan of the colors, which personally I'm not. Edo, you can definitely run. It'll give you a nice glowing look to it whenever you're running around. Embolus is ugly. We have the Eos, again, Eos Prime, if you're a fan of the colors. What I don't like is whenever the colors sort of collide with one another a lot. So let's say I'm running like a dark red or something, right? And then in my attachments, it's showing up as like a bright red. So like right here, we have like a brightish or a different sort of texture of red compared to the skin. Things like that really puts me off using a certain attachment. So I just like to use something that keeps it really consistent. So even the Katir chest plates right here, they definitely work because they're very minimalistic, they're very small, and they definitely work. Things like the Porta, in my opinion, don't really match. Rivalite on the chest doesn't match. The colors are just too weird. Of course, you can go free and change the colors yourself, but it's kind of down to you. Spirit Seal looks too weird. So I just go ahead, use the smallest one I can find. Avia chestplate it is, and I think that looks pretty dope because it keeps it minimalistic and there's not a lot of clutter, not a lot of colliding colors, and it just kind of blends in with the skin. So that's why I'm using that. The shoulder guards, you can use pretty much anything you want. But the one big gripe that I have with the shoulder guards at the minute is some of them make my logo clip through the shoulder guards, which I'm not that big of a fan of. So you can see on the Acanthus here with this skin in particular, the little teal or the bottom of my logo clips through the Acanthus, and that's a big put off from like letting me use that, I guess. But as you'll see, most, if not all, maybe a few of them which have really awkward colors, like this here one, for example, and the fact that this clips as well. But most, if not all, shoulder plates definitely work with the skin. You want something that, again, no colliding colors. You want something that has a nice balance of colors, so definitely not this. You want a nice balance of colors, and you just want something that blends with the skin. So Rivalite works, you know, your Spirit Seal, again, this here one works too. Targus kind of works, but I feel like there's too much white on there. Acanthus would work if it wasn't for the fact that my little logo clips. So I went ahead and went with Atavis because I felt like it gives you a nice balance of colors, but it also gives you that nice pop of white as well. So it's something different, something that I don't usually do, and it just kind of fits well with the skin. How the skin kind of like goes through the top of the Spirit Seal looks definitely really cool. Same thing goes with the legs though. Like, you can run pretty much anything and it'll look dope. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys focus on the right leg while I'm swapping through. So I went ahead and chose Rivalite, but there's a bunch of other alternatives that you can definitely go for, and it'll look pretty cool. So again, you don't want anything that has too many colliding colors. You don't want anything that stands out too much, like in terms of being different or weird. You just want something that kind of fits well, blends, and looks really dope. Of course, that's all subjective. That's all down to you. But, you know, you can take it or leave it, do what you want with it. It's really down to you. Moving on to the Cyan, I'm using the Pyroprime Cyan. A lot of the Cyan look kind of cool. I hate capes. If you know me, I barely ever run capes. The Udyat Sayandana is probably one of my favorite looking Sayandanas on this skin because of my color scheme. But keep in mind, like whenever it comes to the Sayandanas, it's personal preference, just like most fashion frame. And you will have to go ahead, go through and change up some of the colors that you know, you think looks cool. So this looks dope. There's a lot of different Sayandanas which look dope. Of course, this is all Tenogen stuff, so let's go ahead and scroll to the top. This is a Prime Sayandana. The capes, in my opinion, just look ugly. Here's Mesa Prime on it. Of course, we have a little bit of clipping there because of my my little thing here, because I'm running the bow. But if you weren't running the bow, that'll be gone, so there'd be no clipping. But there's a lot of different things that you can run here. I don't like the capes too much. Some people might like the capes because of the shade of red, but I just don't like the capes. And I like having my frames super glowy and standing out, kind of. So I went ahead and threw on my Pyro Prime because I thought that my Pyro Prime looked the dopest out of all of them. So yeah, it's the dopest Sayandana for the skin, at least in my opinion. So moving on to the Regalia. Clan emblems, of course, got to represent the clan. And then we move on to the front sigil. I'm using the Banshee Soprano sigil. Other sigils I recommend using are things like the this Prime one, if you have it, looks pretty cool. Gristag one also looks pretty cool. Mastery sigil looks pretty cool. Prominence sigil, pretty dope looking. Might actually run that. Terrorless sigil also looks dope. Zanuka sigil looks dope. There's a lot of different sigils. PvP sigils look surprisingly cool. So the Enlightenment sigil and the Insight sigil, I think they look cool, but I settled on the Banshee Soprano because it's different, it bounces, it's cool, and it makes you stand out just a little bit. Then for the back sigil, of course, I'm running my Syndicate sigil, and I've set the energy color to black and turned it all the way down in terms of alpha. That way you can't see it. So, other than that, for dual wield pistols, you got your skin, which makes them look rather dope. The only thing I don't like is the fact that your little peacemakers right here, which look like, I forget what these guns are called, like mullets? Is it mullets or muskets? I don't know. But I have no idea what they're called. Don't judge me in the comment section, but there's some name. I don't know if it begins with M, but there's some gun that looks really cool. And it's, yeah, so guns. And the skin for the dual wield pistols looks really cool. I'm using it on my Agbolto. You can use it on something like the Aximati as well. So here we go. Throw it on the Aximati. Go ahead, copy main Warframe colors and stuff like that. And then you look super dope. So let's go ahead and jump into Captura and make it nighttime. And then take a look to see how the skin looks in the dark, as well as what the Peacemaker animation and stuff like that looks like too. I didn't actually show you guys the new Sayandana. I forget the name of it already, but, you know. Here are the pistols. Cool sound effect to them as well. So it changes up the sound. And if we can make her lower her thing, we have the Mesa Noble Animation stance on, and she looks very dope in my opinion. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Peacemaker animation here. We can take a look at the actual regulators themselves. They look pretty dope, at least in my opinion. You can see all the glowy stuff going through the wind, and they look rather dope. So yeah, let's go ahead and go to Arsenal. We see if we can take a look at the new Sayandana that we also got. So I forget what it's actually called. It's not the Nave Sayandana. I looked at it literally at the start of this video, and I forget the name of it. Is it the Cathode? I don't think it's the Cathode, is it? I don't think it's the Cathode. Might be the Cathode. I've never seen this one before. I think it's the Cathode. I don't know. No, it's Constella. That's it. It's Constella. So this is a Constella Sayandana. I don't like it. just straight up, I don't like it. Pyro Prime for the win. And let's go ahead and throw on a better gun. So we'll get the Core and Fear, which looks super dope. Already has the color scheme on it. And yeah, this is my Mesa Deluxe skin fashion frame video. If you guys enjoyed it, go ahead, hit like. And if you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.